Alright, let's not beat around the cloaking bush here, buddy. There are only 2 reasons that you main Olimar in Smash Bros. 1, because you're some nerd who cares about analytics and tier lists and winning. And Olimar is actually a pretty well-rounded character that seems like a fun pick. Or 2, because you understand the immense power that can be held over an opponent when they brutally eviscerate a small and adorable flower creature without batting an eyelash, and you figure if you're going to lose, you might as well mentally scar your opponent in the process. Now, I won't say which, but I'll be honest here, this tutorial is definitely geared more towards one of these groups than the other. But since you're here, you might as well learn how to be a weaponized piece of shit while you learn to dominate with this character, right? Ah, that's the spirit. Let's get into it. So Olimar, and yes, I know that Alf is also a playable character, but I'm just gonna stick with Olimar because who the fuck mains Alf? Anyway, he has what some would refer to as simultaneously the most bafflingly simple and also the most unnecessarily complex playstyle ever invented. With all of his special moves revolving around the plucking, chucking, and re-upping of his Pikmin, you'd think he'd be pretty cut and dry. And that's where you'd be wrong, you silly little dumb bitch. Just look at those adorable bastards. You think the creators would make it that simple to do away with them? Because why make them all simple, generic, damage-shipping little scumbags when you could instead give them A, properties that allow them to all operate and deal damage differently from one another, and, arguably more importantly, B, traits and personalities that make them unique and lovable in their own endearing and excruciatingly difficult to slaughter ways. Now it's time to explain just what makes these living, breathing hand grenades so special and go over what exactly they do. This spiky-nosed, hot-headed, flowery fuck is a heavy hitter. It plows through your opponents from close quarters like a Taco Bell shit and is almost as fiery too. In other words, Fire Crotch here sacrifices damage from thrown attacks to deal more damage on physical attacks. Ergo, when Olimar uses these little guys as a goddamn club to beat his opponents over the head. And when you throw it onto an opponent, it deals fire damage. Uh-oh. Looks like somebody asked for trouble. And its name is the Blue Pikmin. Just look at that blank expression and you know that this little guy has seen entire lifetimes of tragedy. And it's ready to release that suffering onto your opponent with the help of its increased damage when thrown onto opponents. They call this one the Shocker for 2 reasons. 1, it deals electric damage when you throw it. And 2, just come on, man. Those ears are fucking enormous. I mean, I'd be pretty shocked too if I walked into a room and saw the miniature love child of Dumbo and Pikachu. But hey, you know what they say about guys with bigger ears, huh? Bigger hitboxes. And penises. And speaking of, who says great things never come in small packages? Certainly not me. Moving on. This little albino biddy can be thrown way further than any other Pikmin thanks to how light and weak it is. It also deals poison damage. Looks like having a toxic friend comes in handy for once. Good one, me. Let's move on. Sorry, ladies. Move aside. Time to make room for the newest thick bitch in Smash. The Purple Pikmin. It can't be thrown as far, but when you do land a hit with it, it uses the strength of 1,000 kids who got made fun of for being fat in elementary school to really wallop your opponent into submission. Good for finishing off opponents. And finally, these freaky-eyed, wing-flapping hustlers may not actually fight alongside Olimar, but no heist is possible without the getaway drivers, so these guys are equally important to stealing a win from a far more deserving opponent. That said, if you have a lot of Pikmin on deck, or just a few heavier guys like Biggs the Cat over there, these little guys won't be able to carry you as far. So, worst comes to worst, dump the excess load and let the angels of death carry you to salvation. And that's your lineup, folks. Try to keep all these things in mind while you're playing, because as every Olimar player knows full well, 99% of your match is going to be spent hurling a Pikmin at your opponent and running away until the Pikmin dies so you can yell at the other guy for slaughtering an innocent creature and then rinse and repeat until they're at kill percents. And for those of you who just can't get enough of this comedic interpretation of plant/animal abuse, fret not. There's still plenty to discuss when it comes to using these highly intelligent creatures capable of advanced coordination, problem solving, and emotional comprehension as cannon fodder to beat the shit out of people you don't like. For example, have you ever wanted to see Tom Thumb and his elite flower squadron full-on suplex a multi-ton world-threatening force of evil using nothing but sheer willpower and determination? Of course you have! It would be weird if you didn't want to see that. Well, that's all made completely possible thanks to Olimar's bonkers grab game. With this move, the more Pikmin you have, the farther away you can grab your opponent from, and then you can hit him with some of those combo starters like up or down throw, or edgeguarding setups like forward and back throw. And on the topic of edgeguarding, if you're ever in a pinch and need to throw out a move to get your opponents off your fat astronaut rump roast, Olimar's forward and up aerials are stellar fuck-off attacks. In other words, they've got decent range and knockback so that if you hit an opponent with them, they'll fuck off. Down and back aerial can be useful in edgeguarding situations, but they're a bit harder to land, so try not to use them as much as those other two aerials, which are both very easy to get away with spamming. And in fact, I encourage you to do so, because that will only serve to make your opponents more frustrated, which is arguably the most useful tool to have in this game. Olimar also has some fairly useful tilts. Up tilt is a hell of an anti-air attack, forward tilt has some pretty solid knockback for how fast the move starts up, and down tilt is, well, looks funny, I guess. But anyway, if you're really looking to end your opponent's career, look no further than Olimar's smash attacks. Because not only are they all masterclass skull crushifiers, but also, if you flip the script a bit, the only fate worse than being the soulless wretch who killed the poor defenseless plant creatures is being the feeble little nerd who got their ass whooped by them. For starters, side smash is a little bit slow, but the payoff is pretty damn nice when your opponent hurls their controller, or better yet, their head through the wall when you kill them laughably early. Down smash is pretty similar, but it has less range and hits on both sides of Olimar. And up smash is possibly the best of all of them because it's hella powerful, has a jaw-dropping amount of horizontal range for an up smash, and is really fast out of shield or as a combo starter. They all work in different situations, so use them accordingly, but no matter which one you're using, your opponent is gonna hate your guts by the end of that match. And that's a good thing. To take all of that knowledge, don't forget to make your opponent feel like an absolute monster for killing those poor helpless Pikmin. And as always, train hard, troll harder, and remember that if things still don't work out after all of that, you can always blame it on the fact that Olimar is canonically like not even an inch tall and also kind of a loser. See you later. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe because I make a new video every single Monday. I also have a Facebook, a Twitter, a Discord server, and a Patreon, so if you want to support me in any of those formats, please do. And speaking of Patreon, thank you to all the patrons on the screen right now. I actually got a couple videos coming up where I'm going to be using stuff that I bought with the Patreon money, so please look forward to that because I am very excited to show you what I've got going on. Anyway, which character of the two on the screen right now do you want to see coming up in one of my next videos? Make sure to vote down in the comments or in my Discord server. Either works just fine, and I will see you guys in my next episode. Bye-bye!